Today we're going to talk about how you use punctuation and capitalization properly in a poem. So there are 6 basic forms of punctuation that you use in poetry. You can use a period, a semicolon, a comma, a question mark, an exclamation point, or a dash. Each different form of punctuation provides your reader with a different signal. So you need to be aware of what signal it gives so that you are giving the audience the key to understanding the tone and overall flow of your poem. So let's start with the period. You use a period for a full stop. A period that occurs at the end of the line is actually called an end stop in poetry, and it is a definite pause in the recitation of a poem. It is where your reader can take a full breath before continuing. It is the most complete stop afforded to a poet. If you use it in the middle of a line, it creates an extended pause, or what they call censura. Next, we have a semicolon. This creates an extended but not a complete stop. So it's where you use that pause to link two shared ideas in poetry. So a semicolon means that the reader should pause but not take a complete breath because the next line is directly tied to the one that they just read. So that's why we say that a semicolon creates an extended but not a complete stop because it's linking those two shared ideas together. A comma creates only a slight pause. It is the weakest form of punctuation that you can use in poetry, and it's not strong enough to hold a complete sentence. So the comma separates and it gives the reader a cue to pause, take a real quick short breath and move on. Next, we have the question mark and exclamation point. You use these in a poem for major emphasis. They are the least often used punctuation marks, so be careful. Make sure you use them only for special occasions and only for that major emphasis. The last one is a dash. And this one, you insert a dash when you want to create a pause with emphasis. So you need a pause that requires more than what a comma gives you, but you don't want a period because you don't want a full stop or an end stop. That would be where you would use a dash in poetry. Capitalization in poetry is fairly simple. You capitalize the first letter of the first word in every line, as well as any proper noun. So names, titles, etc. So, for example, if we were to take a look at a poem that has proper capitalization and punctuation, we could look at the first stanza of Edgar Allan Poe's A Dream Within a Dream. You can see how every word, the first word and the first letter of the first word in each line is capitalized. You can also see how he uses an exclamation mark, a comma, a dash, a semicolon, a question mark, and a period. So, as you go through your poems, make sure that you properly use those 6 basic forms of punctuation, as well as properly use capitalization.